Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Source. Today is March 17th, and we have a new show edition. Dakota Kaiser has brought us, and Dakota Kaiser of the ASC, the Awakening Sovereignty Collective website, asc.ai, has brought us this new show. It is called Going Home, Land-Based Intentional Communities. The quote that really caught my eye about this show, we have the quote that Dakota typed was, "We have over 5,000 acres of land and literally hundreds of vacant spaces, seeking more beings ready to make the leap into intentional community." So that right there is huge. That's one of the most powerful things that I've seen so far within this, like, bringing in a better world movement. It's all about, how can we get ourselves more grounded and able to fulfill our mission here on this planet. And it's about resources, and it's about where can we get grounded and do this work. So really excited about this show, this weekly show every Friday, 11 a.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. So thank you so much, Dakota, for bringing this one. And if you would like to do, maybe we'll do some brief introductions. Everybody here, would like to do a brief introduction, who you are, where you're at, and then Dakota can take the air and present the juiciness.
Who should go first for introductions?
It looked like. Hi, everyone. My name is Leela, and I'm an ambassador with the ASC. And I'm super excited about these lands that are going to be revealed and our collective potential and manifestation with them. I'm happy to be here, excited to see what comes out of this show today. Blessings.
Hey everybody, my name is Dave, and I've been working toward trying to make a positive difference in humanity for about a decade, I guess, or probably more than that, basically my whole life. And so I'm here because this is the place to be to make that happen. So let's get it done. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and take it away.
Thank you, Davey. Want to give Rich an opportunity to speak if he's there as well?
Give me 1 second.
And my name is Doran Kutash, this Source Network, and excited to be a part of the ASC and all these beautiful people that I've been interacting with and working with on all these projects. So thank you all. This has been fun. Thank you.
And in case you missed it, I'm Dakota Kaiser, formerly the center coordinator of the ASC. I'm coming in from Washington State. And I'm really excited to get into it. You about ready, Rich? Or maybe you can introduce yourself at a later time.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
There you go.
How's it going?
I'm here. Well, I'm here being guided and then holding space, mainly. Just being present and just allow whatever comes through to share when the time is needed.
Cool. Thank you. Well, all right. About ready to get into it? Cool. A little bit of background on me. My life has been all about intentional community. To this day, I have now served 74 land-based intentional communities and hundreds of non-land-based intentional communities across the internet and the ethers. of those 74 places, I have found 11 that I have found to really be embodying what I consider to be the new paradigm of life here on this planet Earth. And I have found just a couple things that really summarize the difference between old paradigm and new paradigm communities. The first is collaborative governance. In all of these communities, there is no centralized authority. There are no landowners. There's no boss. Each and every member of the community has just as much of a say as every other member of the community. The second is all of us are striving to be beyond sustainable. None of us want to be dependent on any system outside of ourselves. And while actually reaching beyond sustainability is quite a task, we're all moving towards it. In a moment on that, so we all know what sustainability is. Beyond sustainability is when a community is providing for the world around it. So beyond just providing for itself, it's creating an excess, an abundance of many forms of resources and services, and it's freely sharing those excesses with the world around it to make the whole world into a better place, not just the community. Those are actually the two most major points that really signify a difference between old paradigm and new paradigm, quote unquote, intentional communities. I'd like to share with you a video of my favorite community in the world. It's called Terra Frutis. It's been around for about 7 years, and my family started it. So it is very close and dear to my heart. It's about 1,450 acres of land in Ecuador. We have 8 different lots. We have an entire mountain. We have several tropical zones. We have a desert zone, and we have every climate zone, like 3 to 9 for planting. And we have literally tens of thousands of fruiting trees, hundreds and hundreds of different varieties. And our intention is to grow every fruit known to man in absolute abundance, so much so that there's more fruit than we can ever eat. Quite a few buildings, a lot of infrastructure. Almost every property has numerous buildings. Some of them are very, very nice. Some of them are more like shack houses. And here is a video that I played a part in creating, but I'm not featured at. Two of my brothers right there, Jason and Peter. I'm not sure if the sound will do it justice here for this, so I'll just kind of skip through it. It's just some moving visuals for you guys to see. They're really goofy over there. They just play around all the time. There's no rent. There's no anything. There's no minimum requirements. It is vegan. We love animals here, and we don't eat them. So that's kind of one thing about Terra Frutis. Are there any questions about Terra Frutis while we're on this one? I'm just kind of going to hop through 10 of them pretty quickly. So we feel good about that. It's a pretty snazzy place. For those that are interested in collaborating there, you can contact me, or you can go to terrafrutis.com and file an application. Yeah, again, just to reiterate, there are no basic work requirements. There's no rent. If you want to stay in one of our really nice fancy buildings, there are some basic requirements for that. And we have a pretty simple intake process. We just like to make sure people are emotionally sane. And then once you're there, there's a couple months of just kind of leeway time where anytime we might ask you to leave, if you're like, if anyone's being disruptive or strange or anything like that. But if you make it through the first couple months, you're welcome there for the end of time. And can even build your own home. We'll help you do it. We have all the materials on site, and you can just be home here. Cool. So let's get to some of the United States locations. I don't have any good video or photo footage on this one, but we have a center in Albuquerque. It's actually a series of 16 interconnected like micro communities that are called the Love Farm Garden Project. It's been going on for like over 100 years actually, but hasn't always been an intentional community. It kind of is evolving out of a rent-based semi-intentional community. And right now there's somewhere around 10 people in the ASCs or on the ground floor that are building out and cleaning up various work sites there. And that's a great way to get to know us as the ASC. So these first two properties I just told you about, they are considered open. You don't need to be known by us to visit them. You just need to file the application process, have some video interviews, basic sanity checks, and then you can come on over. So Albuquerque is the best place to do that inside of the United States, and Ecuador is the best place to do that in the world. These other communities I'm about to talk about are not open. They're semi-open. You have to be known to us before you can come here. And the reason why is that anytime you have an open community, crazy people show up. It's just the thing. There's a lot of crazy people in this world that are looking for home and that are hurt and have the best intentions and a lot of distortions, and they end up causing havoc and destruction wherever they go. So we have these barrier mechanisms in place, which are these totally open communities. And once you show up and say you show up and serve Albuquerque or Ecuador for a couple months, you become verified by them. And now there are all these other communities you can get into. So speaking of those other communities, I'm at one right now. It's called Our Sacred Acres. It's just this like little gorgeous, can't really do it well by this one room, but it's this gorgeous little intentional community outside of Seattle, Washington. And actually I'd like to show a little bit of it. Let's see here. Oh, we should get to this. Yeah, I forgot about this part. So the Tribe of Awakening Sovereignty is like the predecessor of the Awakening Sovereignty Collective. It was a mass networking and indexing project where we went and we found 200 locations around the planet that are in spoken and written alignment with our intentions. There's quite a few going on here. Some of them we're very directly connected to, some of them we're not. Some of them meet all of our criteria, some of them don't. If you come down here, you can, so tribe eco-villages are things we're directly connected to and like vouching for as a really, really great place to be. Expansion centers are places that aren't quite there yet because actually being sustainable is a lot of work. So these places generally need a little more work and are a little less comfortable. There's a couple other groups that have done a similar databasing project, and we went through all of them and picked the very best locations from Numundo, from the New Earth Nation, from Commune Tierra, from Bit Nation, and the EcoBesa community networks. And we just took them and imported them onto this map. So yeah, there's about 200 spots here that all over the world. We actually found communities in almost half the countries in the world that are in alignment with us. So pulling it down here. So this is one of our ambassadors. We have about 40 ambassadors that travel the world and represent the new paradigm and find and connect new paradigm communities, people, businesses, and projects. This is a great video. It's really sweet. But this is Our Sacred Acres. Let's see. Yeah, just like, it looks like that. It's great. Here's another one. Kind of a more full tour. It's like the road outside. Let's see, does this want to load? Oh, it doesn't want to load. I guess I'm not supposed to share this right now. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so, least interesting part. But, let's see. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. This is really interestingly situated where it's about 4 minutes away from the local gas station and the local bar. However, for like 50 or 60 acres around this property, it's nothing but forest. So it's right next to Seattle, but in nothing but forest. Perfect situation to really bridge old paradigm and new paradigm groups. Our Sacred Acres is actually in an interesting position right now. It's been an intentional community for 3 years, but like almost all intentional communities, they struggle with the bills. And we actually found that to be a reoccurring problem for everyone in the new paradigm. And so that's why we made the ASC, but that's a whole nother topic that we'll address tomorrow at the next show. So Our Sacred Acres is in a particular position right now where we need, there's a total needed of about $72,000, of which we have $52,000 right now, ready to go. If we don't get the other $20K in 2 weeks, this property will be lost to the banks. There's one other alternative, where if we find someone with good credit who has like tax viewable income, we can actually qualify for a first homeowner's loan instead of an investment loan. And if that's the case, we can save this community. But we need one of those two things in the next 2 weeks or this community will be lost. But if that happens, that's okay. There's many others. But it would be really nice if it wasn't, especially considering actually this whole thing needs about $450,000 to cover it, but we have the means to pay all of that. We just need 20K more within 2 weeks. We'll see if that wants to happen. Speaking of communities that are in a position to they have a little bit of a need going on, our Circle of Children, which is a community that I've personally served on and off for years. And I'd like to show you a little clip here. Shot, I don't know how long ago, but quite some time. So it's just me, that's Black Horse, it's an old agent of ours. We basically, Circle of Children is a 60-acre event venue with enough rooms for about 400 people. 400 people. There are literally over 100 bedrooms. This place is set up like a campus. There's like residential housing units, and then there's mass dorm units. And there is a giant event center. Let's see, there's like a barn that can fit like 1,000 people in it. This is it. It's like 100 feet tall. It's a megalithic structure. Similarly, there's a kitchen that can feed 1,000 people. So we came here, and over the years, we helped clear out this forest. Let's check this. This end part's pretty cool. Just us doing a bunch of work on it. Let's see. Ta-da! Yeah, we made that. That's actually, it's like 20 feet thick and like 120 feet long, and it's actually like 15 feet high. Huge pile of wood that we made from all of the forests that we cleared up. Yeah, so Circle has always had a bit of a struggle in getting dedicated people out to work on the property. Isn't that funny? All this beautiful space, all this gorgeous location, and no one wants to be out there. So they're having some management change stuff going on, and in the interim, they have asked us as the ASC to like help focus on the property, and they've given us access to a couple of the residential bedroom apartments and all of the facilities, and we're open to new people showing up there right now. For this particular property, you do have to be verified by us, but we intend to put boots on the ground in 2 to 3 weeks and start renovating some of the buildings. There's a mold issue. We're going to need to clear that out. And then we intend to start this planet's version of an X-Men school there, like a Starseed Academy that focuses on new paradigm education, all the stuff and things. I could talk about that for a while. That's in Eugene, Oregon. Rather, it's 45 minutes west of Eugene, Oregon. So talking about big, beautiful properties. Another property that recently opened up to us was 3,000 acres of land in Brazil, about 50 minutes outside of Rio. So this property also already has a ton of very nice, very sweet buildings, and is also almost completely empty. So we were actually, some of our agents were supposed to be there yesterday, but there was a huge snowstorm in the US, and actually they canceled all the planes. So that's been postponed for a little bit. But we're actually looking at partnering with the Tesla Foundation. We're actually supposed to meet with them tomorrow, but that's going to have to be delayed now. The Tesla Foundation is looking at putting several $1 million of technology equipment on this property to serve as an international technology development center, with the intention of creating both open source and commercially produced, mass producible, better technologies for humanity, with a focus on better energy, cleaner energy, freer energy, as well as things that allow you to like 3D print various materials and houses, and better ways of like using the internet, as well as health stuff, like Star Trek level health stuff, which is already around. If you're unaware, the breakthroughs in technologies that have happened in the last 50 years are mind-blowing. However, there is a strong vested interest against allowing for mass producible technologies that are really helpful to people. And our intention at this property is to move past that resistance and figure out how to mass distribute various forms of better energy and health technologies, as well as automation tech, like automatically growing food, medicine, and then hemp, and then printing those materials into whatever else we need, totally automatically. Again, like sci-fi, Star Trek stuff is already real. And at this site, we'll be working on how to mass produce it so it becomes real for everyone. Got a couple pictures of this beautiful property over here. Let's get into that. That's not it. Let's see. Here we go. Bunch of the pictures I have people in them, and I didn't ask them if I could show it, so I'm only going to show you guys a couple. Just those three. There it is. But I have a lot more pictures. But maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll have a video too. That'll be sweet. Let's see. Look at my notes for a second. Yeah, okay. So Atlan, for those that are not aware, Atlan is one of the most epic communities on planet Earth. I'm sure most people watching this know about Damanhur. Within my awareness, Damanhur is the most crystalline, new paradigm, intentional community city that exists on this planet Earth. In my awareness, Atlan is the most crystalline, smaller scale version of it. And Atlan is in southern Washington and is very close to Circle of Children and very close to our Sacred Acres. And all three of these groups very much want to be collaboratively stewarded with the ASC at this time. So I've got a little bit of information on Atlan over here. Yeah, these guys are on 140 acres. They've got quite a good bit of infrastructure. They have the most developed social and emotional systems I've ever seen. This community actually pioneered some of the like nonviolent communication protocols and other kind of council protocols that are actually prevalent around the entire world now. These guys helped pioneer it like decades ago. Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff going on, and they're also open to good people. And this is also another community that is only semi-open. You have to be known by the network to participate at this place. Yeah, so those are the 9. Or rather, I only talked about 5, but Terra Frutis is actually, it's 8 different properties, of which 4 or 5 of them at any given moment are active. And that's why I say 9 different eco-communities that I am very closely associated and connected with. That's kind of all I wanted to cover today. I think on the next session, we will maybe get into some of the ones that I'm not so personally connected to. Any questions?
Yeah, hey, I had a question about the one you mentioned in Seattle, where you're at. Where specifically is it in Seattle? I'm familiar with the town, but I'm not sure where you mean exactly. South of town or?
Snohomish.
Oh, Snohomish.
Northeast, yes.
Ah, right on. That's, my dad's house is on the northeast corner of Seattle.
Cool. Maybe he wants to have a vested interest here.
Yeah, you should go ask him for the $20,000. He's got it. That'd be funny. You should show up at my dad's house. Just go knock on his door and say, "Hey, I'm with the ASC. My son, your son Dave says that you got $20,000 for us. Man, that'd be hilarious."
Yeah. Cool.
You probably don't do that. You should probably just call first. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, he's like he used to run the shipyard. He's what you might call a titan of industry, and we don't exactly see eye to eye.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing with all the people with money. There's so many people with so much money, and they're all in the old paradigm. And by being in it, they're like traumatized and abused. And anytime they see something from the new paradigm, they immediately attack it. They're like hard programmed to like deny, reject, and attack anything in this new way of being. And that's why the rest of us are all struggling and dead ass broke for the most part. And or there are a couple of individuals who have made the jump from the old paradigm to the new paradigm. And that's where all these communities come from. They've all been purchased by someone who is bridging that gap, but there's not enough people bridging the gap. And what's more is I see a strong sense of entitlement in a lot of the new paradigm, where people are like coming from like infinite reality where everything's provided for them. And they're like, why can't that just be here? Why can't I just have all my things for free? And then the reality is, I mean, you could, but then there's the military, and then there are these nations that say they own all these empty buildings that we can't use unless we pay them for it, and someone's got to pay for it. And if just a couple of people are paying for it, they don't like it. They get bitter. So here's to more of us stepping up to do more, to create more value for our people. Cheers. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like to start getting really good at our outreach out to our networks of tribes, individuals that want to live in community and do good work together, and make it really simple for anyone to cross that bridge or come through that portal and be, come into the system and make sure we get the right people that are, really setting it up nice so we can bridge everybody into the communities. And the more we put the people in the communities and then thrive and create abundance through them, the more we're going to be acquiring more and more properties, and more resources will flow to our organizations. So just getting all of our tribe into good homes and good communities and living in paradise on earth, which is just, that's all it is just, yourself being there and being there.
Way cool. Yeah, just like Circle of Children and Our Sacred Acres and Atlon community were not like directly started by the ASC, but they joined us eventually because they saw how we used what we had. In that same way, I believe at least 100 out of the 200 communities we've identified will also sign on and say yes to this, and likely even more than that. There are a lot of homes for us available on this planet Earth. It's just a matter of us using them and really taking that jump, that leap to get out of our little box, wherever we are, and into a whole new box or series of boxes, or even outside of a box altogether. Yeah, so here's to that.
This is a good chance to send out send a message out to a lot of those communities that are on that map, and let them know they have an opportunity to present. I'd like to see, like you did, the kind of a video or pictures of their community, what they're doing, and if they're seeking anyone or anything.
Yeah, we kind of did that in the Tribe Project. We reached out to all these guys initially and asked them if, or not every single one of them directly. I think every location is supposed to have been contacted by at least one of our ambassadors over time. And from that map, I showed you, you can click on it. It gives you a general description. It leads you to their website, and on their website is how you contact them, how you join them. All of them are visitable. All of them have a process for you to visit them and join them and be a part of them. They have videos and pictures, and that's kind of what I want the show to be, is actually we can just go through our map and each week be like, blam, there's 10 more places you can be a part of. Yeah.
Perfect. And we'll all promote the shows before and after, so that this creates this viral movement. And and all I was adding was just they have an invite. All of the different communities have an invite to come on and present. Otherwise, we'll be happy to present their communities for them, but
it'd be fun to have them show up for it. Yeah, I agree. Let's do that.
Bring them all together, bring them all on air, let them do their live screen share or video or whatever they want to do to present.
Cool. So shall it be.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you, Doran. Thank you for everyone who showed up. Thank you for everyone who's listening. Much love. I think that's about all I had to say.
Anybody have anything? We can keep it short and sweet for this first show, or we can keep going.
Yeah, I think short and sweet on this one.
Okay. All right. Have a good one.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining.
Ciao. Until next time.
Thank you, Dakota.
Thank you, Dakota.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye, Lila. Bye, Richard.
Bye-bye.
Peace.